Hey YouTube, this is Cheese Factory, and this is another TVP in the Masters League. I've been a bit sick and haven't uploaded anything in a few days, but I thought this was another good game, and I felt like uploading it. So this is going to show that if you screw up in the beginning, you can still win, and don't have holes in your build, and don't have bad defense. So I'm going to do my regular 13 or 11 gas, 13 barracks attack, but I'm going to screw it up a bit and lose some Marines. And when you only have 3 in the attack, losing 1 or 2 is crucial and not something you can just come back from. Sorry, I'm still kind of sick, so slow. Oh gosh, I just want to show you. Here is his vision. The factory is right here. He is that close to spotting the proxy. And that's why I put it behind the bush like that, because normal movement path doesn't see it. And very few people will think, I'll go ahead and check behind the brush. So that worked out great for me. But then he does this thing where he moves his first zealot across the map. And still doesn't see the factory, I don't think, but the problem is that he kills a marine, because I'm not looking, and almost gets the other one. Right there. So I go ahead and move it back to intercept with the Widow Mine, but the Widow Mine kills my marine. So now this is really bad. I only have 1 marine, and that means I can't really do anything aggressive. I can just be like, hey, I have Widow Mines, be scared. But that's not nearly as effective. I'm so close to getting the snipe on this mothership core, but he saves it with the time warp. And I go ahead and try to kill it just because the marine doesn't matter anymore, and doesn't do anything. So at this point, I'm down in workers. My additional barracks are up, so my production's getting going as well as my stim. And my command center's now done. But his is on the low ground already. And I do a little bit of damage with the mines, but he's 150% of my income right now. Hugely bad. This is like GG kind of situation. But here I go, and I scout. Twilight Council, Double Forge, and Robo all going. And I think this guy thinks he has a decent lead, he can take to the macro game and win. He's going to be early third, and try to be safe with that. And I think, okay, I'm behind, but I can hit a Marine Marauder SCV Viking timing with +1 attack, when he still only has 1-1, so he won't be too far ahead yet, and I can do some serious damage. Possibly win, and take the game back, in a lost situation. So, I go ahead and send the factory back in here, and I see these units, and I think, okay, he's definitely going for the expand. So I feel pretty safe. But my build's definitely screwed up. This is not a build that I'm doing right now. This is a reaction to what's going on. And the fact that I'm hitting a timing to counter him, he should still be able to hold it off because this isn't a real build. I have this like random command center going up because I have extra minerals. I'm only on 3 racks. I'm not really sure what to do. I leave some SCVs to be able to reinforce, but I'm just like, I don't know. But his build is definitely not solid because he should totally crush me with this. His 2-2 should be done by the time I get there, and I think it will be. But, oh wow, no it's not. I'm going to take the engagement before 2-2 finishes. So I do hit the timing really right how I want. And I do some little micro tricks to get up in the Colossus. And I have the right Viking count. And I snipe his units. And I immediately land the Vikings as soon as I kill the Colossus, because I see that my army is small, but definitely bulkier. And I need those Vikings to tank. So that's what I do. And it's just enough here. I'm just barely edging out ahead. His 2-2 is just now about to finish, right as his last unit dies. So then this Colossus comes out as his last hope to try to finish it, or to try to defend. And he screws up. He lets it get a little bit of damage, and then the Vikings and some Marauders finish it off. And then I immediately retreat back from that cannon because I think, okay, I can't take a fight there because this is so close at this point that I lose anything and I lose this push, and it is an all-in. Off the command center thinking like, well, maybe it won't be an all-in with these SCVs at home, but it would be. If this push hadn't killed him, I would have lost. But it did. Barely, just close, because he screwed up his defense. This is an example of a build that's not that great. If he had done this timed out better, he should have been able to hold off any kind of random spur of the moment push. That's the whole idea to the strategy, which is if he does something weird and random, I will win because it's bad. But he screws this up. So, speeding up here to this push, he needs to have at least 3 sentries right now. He shouldn't be on 1, you want 3. And he shouldn't have these stalkers. If he's gonna have stalkers, have like 5 to like focus fire a Viking, but the 7 or 8 like this is just not good. So now, as you can see, he's thinking maybe I'll attack the 3rd, maybe I'll attack here. But what he should be thinking is if I attack the 3rd and he's spread out here, he can move down, force field off here, stop me from retreating, zone me, and kill me. Because 2 Colossus in a small area like that would kill me. Especially because the SCVs would be over here, the Marine Marauder over here. You could like 2 force fields, 2 force fields, SCVs are cut off, bios cut off, kill the bio, and then worry about the SCVs after. He'd lose the Nexus, but he'd win the game. Whereas, what he does is he sits here, thinking, well, I can defend if he is here, and I'm in a position to defend my ramp. But he's actually not, because what he needs to defend this ramp from a frontal assault like this is force field on the ramp. Because if he doesn't hit those, I can hit an arc, as you see, where I get the concave. Like, you see this little micro? I move these few units over here, and all of a sudden, boom, concave versus convex, I crush his army very easily. It's kind of close just because it was a scrappy build. It was spur, but it was a really bad defense by him. And this is the kind of thing his build should be able to defend. This is the whole point to it. And if he can't defend this, then he can't defend multi-pronged drop attacks and stuff. So, this is an example of barely not holding something off, meaning his build was wrong. And does not mean, oh, he was worse, oh, I was really good, oh, my push was brilliant. It means he screwed up his defense. So, yeah, that's all. I just kind of wanted to show this game to show an idea of how you can hit timing to open off a little bit behind, and how to hit timings. Because you don't just want to randomly pull your units and go. You want to hit a timing where he's at his weakest. And for him, that was when he had invested $700 in upgrades that were doing nothing yet because they hadn't finished. In addition, he had this Twilight Council that wasn't helping yet. He had this 3rd that hadn't paid for itself yet. He had 2 pylons and 2 assimilators, so this is about $800 here. He had about $1,500 that weren't doing anything. These gateways weren't done yet, plus there was a pylon there. That's another that's almost $2,000 that weren't being spent on his army, which is a huge window for me that allowed me to hit this timing and kill him. Because he totally should have held that, and it's all on him. So, that's just an example of what you need to watch out for. You need to not screw up like that, basically. So yeah, that's all. And this is Cheese Factory signing out.